Today, Ukraine is one of the most ammunition-contaminated countries in the world due to the military aggression of the Russian Federation. This was reported by the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. Constant shelling of Ukrainian territories causes serious damage to the environment. Explosions, fires, bombing, destruction of industrial facilities lead to air, water and land pollution. This is a fire in the Dnipropetrovsk region as a result of the ignition of fuel oil tanks. 500 square meters of the territory were burned. The damage to the ecosystem after the shelling is still being assessed, but the health consequences for locals are already catastrophic, rescuers say. After the bombing by the Russian army, fields and forests are burning. Such fire is difficult to control. It can spread freely and destroy large areas of the ecosystem. Of particular danger are fires in the exclusion zone of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, where Russian invaders entered on February 24th. The radiation background in the so-called Red Forest still exceeds stable levels, the researchers say.
Now we will measure the radiation background. It is already beeping, showing the excess. This is where Russian troops dug trenches in the contaminated area. Here it is visible for people who have equipment and heavy machines.
The movement of military equipment and the accumulation of used or unexploded ammunition also affect the environment. Due to ongoing hostilities, the latter cannot be disposed of where it is convenient. Ecologists also emphasize that a catastrophic situation has developed in the cities destroyed by shells.
Here is just a complex of various dangers that are associated with this. Now they are talking a lot, for example, about Mariupol. 95% of all buildings have been destroyed or damaged. A huge number of people, unfortunately, remain on the streets of the city. Spontaneous burials or absence of such burials is the potential danger to hygiene, to the sanitation of the city.
The hostilities also have a negative impact on Ukraine's water resources. Water pollution also occurs in cities where utilities engaged in water supply and wastewater treatment are disconnected.
The deterioration of the quality of drinking water is indeed one of the most urgent problems. If you constantly use drinking water that does not meet hygienic standards, you will not get a health problem right away, but after a while you can get a burst of diseases that, for example, were chronic.
Russia's war on the territory of Ukraine harms not only Ukrainian nature. Other countries will also feel its consequences, the expert says.
As far as I know, we have not yet had such joint research with our friends and colleagues from Poland. We are talking about an assessment of the explosion of Caliber missiles that landed at the Yavoriv military base and how it affected the environment in Poland.
Ukraine already has an operational headquarters at the State Ecological Inspectorate. More than 70 scientists from around the world are already collecting and processing data, recording the facts of pollution of land, air, water, forest and biological resources. Lawyers assess damage and prepare materials for lawsuits to bring Russia to justice.
Most likely this will not be reparations but lawsuits. But we are realists and we understand that all this will be relevant after the hostilities end, after we achieve victory.
Inspectors meet weekly to prepare a joint lawsuit from the Ukrainian government to international courts. But experts' predictions are disappointing. Environmental crimes are difficult to prove in international courts. In particular, it will be necessary to gather strong evidence that this year's grain harvest in Ukraine has declined not due to climate change, but because of hostilities. Reported by Marina Stepanenko, Natalia Belokudra, UATV News.